Now, we're going to talk about ratchets. I have 3 different ones here, 3 different brands. And I'm going to tell you why. When you're growing up and you're collecting tools, you're going to get stuff from everybody. And there's nothing wrong. Every tool that you got probably has a purpose. This is a Craftsman 1/2-inch drive. Why is it a 1/2-inch drive? Because we're talking about this square at the end of the ratchet here. This is the drive, and it is a 1/2 inch across the center here, across the center of this little square. That is 1/2 inch. That is the drive. If you're a mechanic and you don't have a Craftsman 1/2 inch drive thing, you ain't been doing it long, because I'm telling you what, everybody has one of these. They're not expensive. If you break them, then you can get another one. Now, do I have other ones other than this one? Yes, I do. But this one here is kind of my favorite one. I've had it for a long time. This is my favorite one. This is a 3/8 drive. This is the most common ratchet that you're going to find out there on the market that people are going to have to work on anything. This 3/8 of an inch, the square right here. This is we're referring to the drive again. This drive is 3/8. This is the most common one you'll use. This is an 80 tooth. 80 tooth is referring to the clicks in here. You feel it click. It's 80 times. It'll go around 80 times. There's 80 teeth. Now, it's pretty strong. It's pretty durable. It does have a good handle on it. Again, you can see how clean it is. That's because you can clean this up real easy. This does not mean that you can take the handle off your jack and stick it on here and pry it like it's 3 foot long. No, no, no. That's what you got this for. Pry bars. Don't use the ratchet as a pry bar. If you need more leverage, you need to move up to the bigger one, to the 1/2 inch drive. Get the same size socket and use this one. See how much longer this one is than that in there? And they make even longer 1/2 inch drive ones than that. Now this is getting to be the most common 1/4 inch drive ratchet. This is a 1/4 inch drive. By the way, this is a snap-on. That first one was a Craftsman, and this one here is a Craftsman as well. Now I have a Matco one, I have a Cornwell one, I have a snap-on one. You can never have enough 1/4 inch drive ratchets, because I'm telling you, you're going to be out there working on something, you're going to have 4 different size 1/4 inch drive sockets you want to use, and if you've got a bunch of these laying around, they're handy. They're not very expensive. But this is getting to be the most thing that you're going to do, most thing that you're going to go to for 10 millimeter, 5.5s, 5.3s, 6s, 7s, 8s, and it's quick. It's handy, it's easy. Now the cool thing is they make a bunch of different sizes of the 1/4 inch drive ratchet and variations of it. So if you're having a hard time getting this big length into where you need to work, they make 1/2 this size. They make a palm one. They make a real skinny one. There's a bunch of variations of this actual 1/4 inch drive. Now there's a bunch of variations of the other ones too, but they're not common. It's not as common in variations as the 1/4 inch drive. Now, remember what I said. If you can't get it loose with this, go to your next one up. But if you're taking out a 10 millimeter, don't use this. If you need this for a 10 millimeter, you need some heat or some WD-40 to break that loose, because you're going to break it off. And when you break it off into your car, you twist it off in the head or something, now you got to extract that, and that's another show. So the last 2 things we're going to talk about here in this episode is torque wrenches. So I got 2 different styles here and 2 different sizes. I have all 3 sizes, but I just brought this one out. This is a 3/8 drive snap-on. It's the clicker. You unlock it here, and then you turn it up here, clicking. Now when you get to where you want to use it, put it on there and it'll click. It'll click every time you hit that thing. When you're using a clicker, okay, 1 time, I know you guys like to do this one. Click, and then you stop and you think, that didn't feel tight enough. Click, click. Now it's too tight, because every time you turn that to make a click, it turns that nut a little bit, or it turns that bolt a little bit. Now you're way over on your torque. And if you're using torque to yield bolts, that's bad. So make sure, if you're using a clicker style, it's 1 click. Don't do it twice, because it's too tight when you do it twice. Now, when you're done using the clicker style, undo it all the way to the bottom. Okay? Because there's rods inside here that set that torque. You don't want to leave tension on them rods, because it'll throw it out of calibration. This should be calibrated, I think they said like once every 2 years or once a year, depending on how much you use yours. Now, this was the next generation after we had the rod. The rod was right above the drive. There was a rod that came up, and then there was a fan back here that had this denominations of the inch pounds or foot pounds, and you'd pull it, the rod would stay there, and you keep pulling down, it would tell you how tight it was. Not the most accurate, but people still use them, and they worked wonderful for the cars we used to do. You didn't have to be that accurate. As the technology grew and the cars become more advanced and they had to be closer tolerances, we had to go to this style torque wrench. Now, guess what happened? Manufacturers got real smart. Oh man, they think they're so smart. Let me tell you what they did. They made the bolts weaker to do a better job. I know it doesn't make no sense, don't make no kind of sense right now. They came out with this one here. This is a digital, you turn around so it's not upside down. This is a digital torque wrench. I don't have the batteries in it right now. Do not, and I'm going to say this again, do not store your batteries in the end of there. Because if you do, what's going to happen? They're going to get cold, or they're going to get hot, or they're going to start leaking. And once that battery explodes inside her, you might not get it out. You just wasted yourself a $500–600 torque wrench. Whoa, can't do it with that hand. You do it with this hand right here. It's reverse threads. All right, so now I'll leave that loose too. I don't tighten it up every time because you pull the threads every time you do that, and it is brass, so you will pull them out of there and it'll get where it strips out. So what we did is, this one's much more accurate because it measures down to the, I think, the 100th of a pound on the torque side and 1 degree on the degree side. And then there's Newton meters and all that stuff. So what I'm going to tell you about this torque wrench is, this is a flex head, okay? Because it has to be, because of the bolts you got to get to now when you're doing timing, like on your Fords, on your little 4-cylinder cars, when you're doing that timing sprocket on the front of the cam, you got to have that tight, and it's what they call a torque to yield bolt. You use it once, you take that bolt out, it looks fine, don't use it again, it'll break. All right, it stretches when you torque it, but it's not consistent. So the inconsistency in the torque side of it is why they tell you to do it in degrees. Degrees is going to be more accurate, and it's going to be more closer to tolerance, because the engines have gotten even tighter on tolerances. So now we got to be more accurate when we're doing things, putting these engines back together. So on this one, it'll tell you 27 foot-pounds. So you said 27 foot-pounds. You put it on there, you pull it to 27. This one goes green, yellow, red. When it hits red, it'll also beep. That means you have hit 27 foot-pounds. You stop. That's all you do. You don't do it twice. You don't check it. You just stop. Now, and it also has a little beep. There's a little speaker thing right here. That's kind of cool. So now you got to do your degrees part, and they'll tell you like 112 degrees. Somebody show me where 112 degrees is. This is 90, so about that much, right? No, this much? No, the guy in the back saying this much. Hell, you don't know what you're talking about, son. You crazy? It's about this much. Now the guy in the front saying no. Look here, man. It's my show. I'll say where it's at. I think it's about right here. All right? Now, is that true? Who knows? We don't know where 112 is. So what you got to do is get this new handy-dandy torque wrench. You set this on 112 degrees. You put it on there. You pull it. You only pull 35 degrees before you hit something in the engine compartment. You got to go back. Now you can go back and do it again. And when you've hit 112 degrees, it'll light up and beep at you, and now you're done. Now your torque to yield bolt is set perfectly. So that's just a little do's and don'ts with these. Please beware that you don't leave your batteries in this, because it will leak and it'll ruin your torque wrench. So make sure you take them out. I know it's got the date and time and stuff on there. If you're looking at your torque wrench for a date and time, you're a dummy, because there's only probably 3 calendars in your shop and 14 clocks. I don't think you need to use your torque wrench for date and time. Now, don't forget, somebody's got a comment on this here. We're going to run through the sponsors. We've got Patriot Beard Supply. The number's at the bottom down here. Make sure you give them a holler for all your beard supply needs. And they got facial washes, which I think I'm going to need tonight. I need to wash this here mug right here. Because, son, I don't look this good every day when I wake up. It takes practice to look this good when you're on the camera. You know what I'm saying? And the other guy is AP Cigar. Now, AP Cigar's got all your cigar needs down there. He's got a nice Rocky Patel. It's a Rocky Patel Edge today that we're going to talk about. I don't got one because I smoked it already. It's so good I already smoked it up. So y'all going to have to go down there and get one of your own. You can't have mine because I don't smoke it. Did you hear me? No, sit down. You ain't coming up here and get no damn cigar. Sit down. See? I'm trying to get my cigar. What's wrong with you? Now listen, the other guy, Steve Dempsey, Edison, Ohio, MrTaillight.com. He's got all your needs for body panels. He's even got some stuff that nobody else can get. He's got some headlight systems, some taillight systems, and soon to come, he's going to have Horton's Cool Wave brakes. You heard me right. Horton's Cool Wave brakes are going to be on the market, son. They're going to be out there for you to have and everybody else. They're going to start in smaller quantities at first, and we're probably going to do only the most popular brake pads, but we're going to have them babies out there for you to have a better driving experience on your car. Hey, I'm Eddie Horton with Dove Tech Talks, sweating my butt off, man. I'm talking about it. It's hot out here. Y'all have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.